Good morning, and before I take questions and answers and give you answers, I have the pleasure of recognizing a very special group of individuals today who are compelled by a greater sense of purpose to be and to create the type of change that they want to see in their communities. For the past 37 years, the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Organization, affectionately known as HOBY, which is also a 100% volunteer-run program, that HOBY hosts an annual seminar where promising sophomores from across the state are selected to represent their high schools. During an immersive 4-day leadership training, ambassadors learn, sharpen, and explore their ability to make a positive difference through effective and compassionate leadership, both within their local communities and as a part of our global society. This is no ordinary conference, and the students selected to participate are highly motivated and represent diverse backgrounds and life circumstances. It is through these differences that they are challenged to examine things like their ethics, critical thinking, personal convictions, and problem-solving ability within a structured learning environment, which for many is their first long-term stay outside of the comfort of their family homes and traditional norms. This year, a record 238 students participated in the 2016 Maryland seminar, and of them, 16 local high school sophomores represented the city of Baltimore as ambassadors. 4 of the 2016 Baltimore ambassadors join me today. Taisha Rigby of Mervo, Imani Rice of the Bryn Mawr School, Jasmine Anderson of the Seed School, and Jasmine Smiley of the Institute of Notre Dame. I want to congratulate these ambassadors for their exemplary leadership within and outside of the classroom. I wish you continued success in balancing the rigors of being a student, a dreamer, and a leader. Hold true to your aspirations because they are all possible, and you use your shared experience to motivate leadership among your peers. The best thing about when we take time to recognize these young leaders is we're shining a light on them so others can see what is possible. So I want to thank our youth ambassadors. I have Ms. Taisha Rigby. Thank you very much. Imani Vice, did I get it right? Jasmine. Thank you. And Jasmine Smiley with a beautiful smile. There you go. All right. And now I would like to, wait a minute. All right. Invite Jasmine Smith and then Carol. So Jasmine Jasmine Anderson and Carol will now make remarks. Did I get it right?
Almost.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jasmine Anderson, and I'm a 2016 HOBY alumni. I attended HOBY as an ambassador for the Seed School of Maryland in Baltimore City. Before HOBY, I was scared to dare to be anything out of the ordinary, at least outside of my thoughts. I would always have something to say, but never say it. I would walk to go try for a sport at school, but never actually make it on the field. What would you do if you weren't scared? Was one of the questions that resided in my memory from HOBY. If I wasn't scared, I would be the first one to raise my hand whenever the teacher asked a question. If I wasn't scared, I would lunge after the ball, even if I thought it would fall short. If I wasn't scared, I would live my life according to what makes me happy, and not everyone else's way of life. During HOBY, I had an opportunity at public speaking, but was way too frightened to do it. I was way too scared. But as you see now, I'm standing up here talking to a room full of people. What would you do if you weren't scared is the question I'll leave you with today. And I would like to add a special thank you to the Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake and Amanda Rodriguez. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Carol Applegate. I'm president of HOBY Maryland. We are an affiliate of a larger organization that is all over the United States and international. So we are one of 70 sites in the United States that offers leadership training and a knowledge of volunteer service in the community. That's one of the really big things we do. And we had projects this year that the students participated in. This was our biggest year, 238 students was our biggest year, and that's only because of the volunteers who donate to sponsor their schools, like the Optimist, the Women's Club, the Kiwanis, who really help us, and they recognize the potential in their community high schools and have those schools select a student with leadership potential to send to us to the 4-day seminar. It was at Mount St. Mary's this year, and they've hosted us for the last couple years. But it's only with the help of the community and all of our volunteers, because everybody up here except for 2 of us were Hobie alum. And right here. Because they're the ones that come back to the Mount to offer motivation, leadership training. There are speakers, there are bus counters, they get us all organized for the whole 4 days. And without our volunteers, we wouldn't be anything, because we are all volunteers and all of our money comes from other volunteer groups too. So if anybody wants to come join us with lots of leadership students next year, it'll be up at the Mount, and it'll be Memorial Weekend again. And if you have any questions, I'll be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So Jasmine, I just want you to know how personally proud I am of you. You did a fantastic job, and for someone who says that they were afraid, it did not show. So very, very proud of your presentation. And Carol, thank you for bringing your volunteers here today. It is very, very clear that Baltimore's future depends on our young people, and I look forward to seeing you all soar. I want to thank the entire Hobie delegation, including the parents who have joined us today. I want to thank you for all that you do to instill the value of volunteerism, integrity, excellence, community partnership, as well as the virtues of leadership. Next year, I hope to see even more schools participate. Yesterday marked the last day of school for Baltimore City, but as we all know, the learning continues even after the dismissal bell rings, and team building and recreational activities have a transformational impact on the lives of our young people, which is why my administration continues to work hard to ensure that every child and every young person who wants to participate in meaningful summer activities has the opportunity to do so. This week we are breaking ground and expanding 3 recreation centers: Rita Church, C.C. Jackson, Roosevelt Skate Park, and we are launching this year's Baltimore City Super Summer Portal. It's open for young people and parents to learn about camps, special events, meal programs, and to make sure that our young people stay safe and have fun during the summer and are engaged until the school year starts again. So visit bmore-super-summer.org. Did I get that right? All right. To learn more, and I'll make sure that the reporters, I'll get the right, make sure that it's right with our website. So thank you all, and please join me in giving a round of applause to these ambassadors and volunteers.
Toby, what do we think of the mayor?
Outstanding! O-U-T-S-T-A-N-D, I-N-D, outstanding! O-U-T-S-T-A-N-D, I-N-D, outstanding! Oh, snap!
I'll take it. Thank you so very much. I'm going to teach that to the council.
We'll come and teach.
I can't see Jack.
So let's ask the obvious question. Is the city ready for tomorrow, whatever the verdict is?
Absolutely. I think we showed during the last trial that we are prepared. The Joint Information Center is prepared. We have contacted and connected and collaborated with local law enforcement and regional law enforcement to make sure that we have everything in place to be prepared. And I'll say that, a lot of emphasis has been placed on a few hours of activity that was, shameful, terrible, destructive. But it was a few hours in the history of a community that believes in seeking justice through peaceful protest, and I don't want us to forget that.
Mayor, what does it say that, what we hear from the police commissioner is that, oh, our relationship with the community is better, but yet we have to get the National Guard ready? Isn't that kind of contradictory?
No,
Better
it's
relationship
called,
with the community.
it is called preparation.
Mayor, do you think that the trials, win or lose, have brought about a change in the culture of the police department?
I don't think the trials are doing. I think the work that we continue to do to reform our police department and make sure that we have a state-of-the-art department that understands the value and the virtue in public safety and partnership with the community. That work had gone on before the unrest last year, and it will continue.
Madam Mayor, how concerned are you that depending on the verdict tomorrow that people in the city will lose faith in the legal system?
It is a concern of mine that we continue to have the community engaged in our efforts to have safe communities. And I don't want to see members of the community, either way the verdict goes, I don't want to see them disheartened and become disengaged. So it is a concern of mine, and that's why I continue to say that justice is a process, not a verdict, and we have to keep that in mind.
To that end, there's been a lot said in the past year about reform. You've been a leader on the LEOBR reform efforts. Do you think it's time to really start thinking about having an outside agency that investigates police misconduct? Based on the experience of the past year and the past...
No, I don't think I've seen anything that would suggest we need an outside agency. We need the professionals who have taken the oath to perform their jobs to continue to do so.
Was there any, has there been any testimony or information brought out during the trials that you think the general public was unaware about the functioning of the police department? Administratively, whether messages are getting to people, whether there's enough training, those types of things.
Right. So I don't think I'm in the position to answer what people in the public knew or didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything that surprised you?
No.
How does with the National Guard? I mean, where does that stand? I mean, what kind of position are they in? I'm just trying to figure out exactly like what their status is right now, and
So I don't have what their official status is. What I do know is that we have the appropriate amount of resources in place to respond to whatever situation or whatever response there is from the community at the hearing of tomorrow's verdict.
Did the city call the National Guard and say, we may need your help?
I can get an answer for you. I don't know who from the city, or it could be an outside organization, contacted them. I can make sure that you get that information.
Because
I'm not disputing what you've
Okay.
heard.
Right.
I just want to
Right.
get the exact answer for who contacted them.
So you've been working on police community relations for a long time, even before what happened last April. That's known. Are you concerned, assuming that the verdict doesn't go the way the public feels it should go, that work could just evaporate in like mere minutes?
I don't think we should assume that the community has one opinion about the way this verdict should go. I think many people like me believe that justice is a process, not a verdict, and respect the work that this judge has to do and the very daunting responsibility he has to make this decision.
To be fair, you have one group of the community, particularly the district where this incident took place, who did not think that these officers would be charged. And they're of the opinion that none of these officers will get convicted. They have no faith in the justice process. What do you say to them? Because obviously you have faith in the justice process as it rolls out. What do you say to those in West Baltimore who does not have that confidence that you do?
I don't know if they will seek the solutions that they are trying to achieve through the court system during these trials. That's why I continue to work with the Department of Justice on critical reforms, as well as best practices on community policing, so we can build those relationships. I don't think that I certainly am not depending on the outcome of the trials to be the answer to all the community's problems. You know, the work of building strong relationships is work that has to happen on a daily basis. It has to happen in a way that we know we've seen, not just in Baltimore but across the country, has made a difference in the communities, and I'm committed to continue to do that work.
Are you concerned, speaking of the Justice Department report, are you concerned about how the city will look once it's released to the public?
No. Because at the end of the day, whatever it says, the city will look like a reflection of my administration, which is unafraid to uncover problems. I believe that we need to confront these problems head on. Not everything is going to be good, but it doesn't mean, you know, we're not hiding it. We are focused on the fix, and that's why we've been able to make the progress we have done under my administration.
Mayor, the police department has taken a number of steps that appear to be trying to head the DOJ off the path in terms of practices that...
I think you should just make sure we're clear that that is your editorial comment.
That was an editorial comment.
All
but
right.
To be clear about what I'm asking, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you know...
Because some people could look at what the police department have done and say it is clear that they have a commitment to reform, and they're not going to stand and just wait on the sidelines for the Department of Justice to make up their mind. They're going to continue to press for progress every single day. That's another way of looking at that same set of facts.
Okay, so that you kind of asked my question, so I'll just continue the question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the police department, as this has gone on, had an idea of what DOJ is going to say? In other words,
I think every person in the city that pays attention to public safety and the history of the police department has an idea. And you could go to any community and they could write the report. We know what the problems are. This is about the fix, and I've remained committed to the fix. That's the reason why I invited the Department of Justice and the COPS office to come in to help us with collaborative reform. And when that didn't work, that's why I asked for a patterns and practice investigation. This is about the fix. This is not about a dispute of whether or not we have problems. We know we have problems.
can we ask you a budget question?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So, $100,000 came out of the library system to fund after-school programs, help fund after-school programs. What does that say about Baltimore?
It says the library has been fully funded. The library asked for an additional $200,000. And out of that $200,000 in additional funding above and beyond what full funding would be for the library, we were able to get them $100,000 of that ask.
But the priorities of the city, I mean, those are both come out of the same pot in terms of the, you know.
The library was fully funded. They asked for an additional $200,000.
And the 100 came out of that.
Yes.
Apparently, there's also a chunk of money that goes to the school system to pay unused leave.
I can get you an answer on that. I'm
Okay.
not sure. Andy can answer that. Andy Smelling can answer that offline. I mean, not necessarily. You know, I mean, I just don't have the answer right now. He does.
Well, I guess so. Going down the road now, you obviously won't be here for the next budget cycle, but it just appears that every year the city scrapes around for, you know, a couple of million here for rec centers and a couple of million there for, you know, after school 100,000, 250,000 to the library. Is this just the way it is in Baltimore? That
It is the way it is in every municipality around the country. I know of very few that have operating surpluses on a ongoing basis. This is how government works. It's not unique to Baltimore. This is a budget process. Whether it's in Congress, they're trying to scrape together money for different priorities with limited resources, whether it's in state government, whether it's in Baltimore. You can say it in an excited way, but it doesn't stop the fact that this is how we do it every single year, and this is how it's done across the country. Show me the city that is
well, I was
not.
going to ask you that. You're president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
I don't know of
Is
another
anyone
city. I think there are a few in Alaska because of the oil money that have, they're trying to figure out what to do with all of the surplus. I did give some of the mayors some suggestions, to make some investments in a fabulous city in the East Coast that's in the middle of a renaissance. But we'll see. But other than the I think it's one or two that I know of in Alaska, everybody's in the same boat at different where the spectrum is broad, but we're all in the same boat. And have been. I mean, you've been here. This is not new. And even in the years where we've had a surplus, it was very clear that it was a temporary surplus with a significant structural budget deficit. And I'm just glad I had the boldness and the vision to attack that issue, so we won't have to be in this situation in the future.
We good?
I think I'm good.
Okay, thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.